Good morning, good morning, good morning. We back with Marriage Boot Camp 2020. February, what's the day? February 16th? February 16th, 2020. We are into February. We should start seeing some results. You should start seeing some results. Whatever you dedicated yourself for 2020, whatever vows you made for 2020, whatever resolutions you made for 2020, whatever renewals you made for 2020, good morning, you should start seeing some results. All 2020, that's what we're talking about. All 2020, all me and Lady Bell is looking for is some results. All we try to do is produce some results. Looking for results in our marriage, looking for results in our relationship, looking to get better results. We say we in the 2020 vision. No matter what they say, look for the results. For years, we've been listening to people. For years, we've been hearing what they say, and we don't look. We get so caught up in hearing. We get so caught up in what they said, and then when the results don't come, we don't even realize it because we just been caught up on the words. But I'm going to continue talking to the young man. We're going to stay right here. We're going to continue talking to the young man. We're going to continue to stay focused on Deuteronomy 24 and 5. We're also going to go to the Gospel of John, chapter 1. And we're also going to go to Proverbs, chapter 11. We're going to pick up, like we say, we always do a recall and review. We always got to clarify some things. We always got to correct some things. If we give any wrong information out there, if somebody come across and say, well, I didn't understand what you said, we try to correct it. If we listen to what we teach, and then if we hear something that we feel need to be correct, we'll come back and we'll correct it. Because for so many years, listen to me, young man, listen to me. For so many years, we've been taught so much stuff. It's not what you know, Lady Bell, it's what you've been taught. A lot of times we do stuff by what we've been taught. It's not what you know and what you've been taught, and we've been taught a lot of misinformation. We're going to continue in Proverbs 24 and 5. Why do I keep directing my words to you young men, to you young married couples? You've been married for less than a year. You're planning on getting married. You've been married less than 5 years. Listen to Deuteronomy 24 and 5. Lady Bell's going to read it again. I want to pound this into your head for the month of February. We're only into February. People, they're already falling off. They're already getting discouraged. They're already getting mad. You couldn't wait until 2020. 2020 is here. We into February. We're only into February. They're not exercising no more. They're not keeping their vows anymore. They're not keeping what they promised they're going to do in 2020. They already frustrated. They already mad. Some people already saying, same new year, same old mess. No, you got to fix that mess. You got to correct that mess. You got to work through your problems. You got to work through your pressure. You got to work through your pain. We all got it. How do you choose to deal with it? Deuteronomy 24 and 5. Listen, young man, as you are newly married, plan on getting married, you're trying to raise your wife, you're trying to love your wife and be married to your wife and raise your children. Listen, young man, here we go with Deuteronomy 24 and 5. Read that for me, Lady Bell.
When a man is newly married.
Repeat that.
When a man is newly married.
Go ahead.
He shall not go out with the army or be liable for any other public duty.
When a man is newly married, you're planning on getting married, you just got married, you got to spend time. Like we talked about last week, taking a honeymoon. Unfortunately, these days, a lot of people jump up, we get married, we spend more, we plan the wedding, but we don't plan the marriage. We spend all this money on that one day. And then you get married February 14th. Now here comes February 15th. What are we going to do? What did I do? You just committed your life to that other person. You just made vows for life to that other person. If you are newly married, do not commit yourself to a whole bunch of stuff. You got to establish your marriage. You got to get rooted in your marriage. Like we said last week, we understand. You want to go to church, that brick and mortar place. You want to go to church and get rooted. You want to go to church, that brick and mortar place, and get some word. You want to go to church, that brick and mortar place, to get a foundation. I understand that, young man. Been there and done that. But listen, young man. Listen, young couple. Do not go to church, that brick and mortar place, and get caught up in doing 3 and 4 ministries. It will wear you out. Listen, young man. Listen, young couple. Do not go to church and get caught up in don't let your wife get caught up in 3 or 4 ministries. It will wear your marriage out. Listen, young man. Listen, young lady. Listen, young couple. When you get newly married, you can commit yourself to 3 and 4 other things. Be it church, be it organizations. You got to get your marriage rooted and grounded. You got to get your marriage rooted and grounded on that first year. I don't care how long you've been dating. I don't care how long you was engaged. When you get married and move in with each other and make those vows and make that commitment, I hear it time after time. We hear it time after time. Well, we dated for 5 years. We was engaged for 3 years. Well, we lived together 5 years before we got married. But after we got married, she changed. But after we got married, he changed. No, you took vows. Now you're committed. Now you're rooted. Now you're grounded. Now you have committed yourself to each other. You have took vows before God and all of those witnesses. More responsibilities come with that. More commitment come with that. Because you have taken vows. People sing. You have witnesses before God and all these witnesses. Listen, young man, take care of home. 1 year. Deuteronomy 24:5 said, 1 year. Commit 1 year to growing your marriage, to establishing your marriage. And this is one thing I hate to see a young couple do, especially a young couple if you don't have any children. Even if you do have children, if you got children and you get married and you want to have more children, wait at least, I would say, 2 years. If you're a young couple and you get married and you have no children, wait at least 2 or 3 years to start having some babies. Get to know each other. You got to get to know each other. You can't be married 3-4 months and 4 months into the marriage, now she's pregnant. Y'all ain't even lived with each other for 4 months. Now you got to live with this pregnant woman. You got to live with this pregnant. You barely knew her. Now you got to get her through all these. You got to get to know her through all these emotions. And then she have a baby. Then 4 or 5 months later, she's pregnant again. Now here you are married. I see it all the time. You married 4 years and you don't have 3 babies in 4 or 5 years. And you don't even know each other. Now you're trying to get to know her, and now you're trying to be a husband and a daddy to 2 and 3 babies. She trying to be a wife and a mama to 2 or 3 babies. That's hectic.
But during the pregnancy, though, if you all are having a baby a few months into the marriage, you're dealing with all these hormonal issues as well. So you're really not dealing with her. Her hormones are all over the place. So, based on this scripture, it would be wise if you waited a couple of years before you started having your family so that you can get to know one another and so that you can begin to build your traditions and build your first few years of marriage.
Lady Bell said it. It would be wise if you would wait a couple years before you start having some babies. It says the first year. Listen to me. Don't get caught up in trying to have a bunch of babies and trying to do this. Establish who you are. Establish who she is. Listen, dude, you better find out who she is. If you didn't know exactly everything about her as much as you can about her before you got married, you better spend that first year finding out who that woman is.
And this is also an opportunity for you to come up with building your vision for your marriage, what direction your marriage is going to go in, the type of things that's important for you guys in your marriage, your first few months of marriage, so it would be wise not to jump into having a family right away. Get to know who you two are and what your marriage is going to look like and what kind of goals and aspirations you're going to have in your marriage those first few years.
Lady Bell said, be wise in your own vision. Stop getting caught. I understand when you go to that brick and mortar place, the dude in the pulpit going to say, God has given me a vision. He has sent you here to help me bring forth the vision, to help me carry out the vision. Then you get caught up going to church in that brick and mortar place because the dude in the pulpit said, come help me fulfill the vision that God gave me. No, listen, young dude. Listen, young marriage. Listen, young couple. Have a vision for your wife. Have a vision for your family. Build your family. Build your vision. Tell your wife your vision. If you don't understand the vision, that's why she's your helpmeet. Explain to her as much as you can. Listen, I'm not that bright of a dude. I'm not that bright, but I married a woman. Hey, where I am weak, she is strong. She's smarter than me. So everything I can't put down on paper. I can't write everything out clearly. I can't write everything out plainly. But I can tell her how my heart feels. I can tell her what my mind is thinking. I can tell her what my eyes see down the road. And she can write it for me. Robert, this what you saying? Robert, this what you thinking? Robert, this is what you hear the Lord talking to you? If you can't write it down, talk to her. She's your visionary with you. 2020 vision. What you can't see, she can't see. What you can't focus in on, she can focus in on. What God has spoken to you, maybe you didn't hear it clearly, but God can speak to her and say, hey, this is what I told him. This is what I told him. Go talk to that knucklehead. Go talk to him. He didn't hear everything I said. That's why he gave you a helpmeet. You got to spend that first year establishing each other, establishing your marriage. We talked about going on vacation. Because like I say, we jump up, we get married, we plan a wedding, we spend we spend money on a wedding that we don't have. Then we go on a honeymoon, we mad and we frustrated, because now when we got to get back home, we got to pay all these bills that we don't build on trying to have a wedding to impress everybody. Don't do it. Now, if you didn't have a honeymoon, you got to go on vacation. You got to take vacations. Take little vacations. If you can't afford a big vacation, take a weekend vacation. Take a staycation. The part I wanted to recall and review, Lady Bell, recall and review. When you take a vacation, I don't care if you go down to the Holiday Inn for a weekend. If you take a staycation, I don't care what you do for the weekend. Listen, young dude, just go with you and your wife. If you got babies already, get a babysitter. Just you and your wife. Don't bring Keisha and Ray Ray. Don't bring LaShonda and Leroy. No, by yourself. Listen, young dude, I'm 56 years old. I'm telling you, old dudes ain't gonna tell you. See, they want to go with a group of people. Every time they go somewhere, they go out to dinner, they need 5 other couples with them. They go to the movie, they need 5 other couples with them. Listen, young dude, spend time with just you and your wife. Have a conversation. Talk, hold hands, touch, kiss. Listen, young man, that first year, we say in the first year, but it really takes 2 or 3 years to establish a marriage. It takes 4 or 5 years to establish a marriage. It takes 7 to 8 years to establish a marriage. You're always establishing this thing. You always working on this thing. You always growing on this thing. It's always some problems you got to work on. It's always some pain you got to deal with. It's always some pressure that's always going to be on you. As a couple, help me, Lady Bell.
You know, I want to go back to something Robert said. The Bible talks about write the vision and make it plain. And as you go to church, there is a vision there at that church. But you as a couple, we would ask that you would write your vision for your marriage and make it plain. The two become one. The two of you come together and write your vision and make it plain. One other thing that I want to jump in and say, Robert and I, this is something that, and those of you guys that know us personally know we do this from time to time. We'll go through this where we'll read the Bible through in so many days. A lot of people feel like, oh, that's not the way to do it or whatever, but it really blesses us because it gives us focus and it gives us direction, and God speaks to us. And one day, for some of those of you that know us, know our testimony behind the last time we did that. But we jump all in and we read, sometimes we read it in 90 days. Sometimes we may do it throughout a year. But during that time, and I would encourage young couples to do that. Decide, come up with a reading plan for that Bible. And you guys read that word for yourself. You've got to study yourself, study that word yourself. When you get that word inside of you, I want you to talk about it, because I know with Robert and I, when we talk about it, there is power in agreement, there's power in understanding, and that's part of the two becoming one. And as that pastor speaks to you guys, it'll either be confirmation, or it may resonate something in you where you're like, that's not for us, or something like that. But that way you're studying that word, you're hearing from God yourselves, you and your wife, and you guys can comfortably two can walk together as one, and you can recognize if something is agreeing with your marriage, or if it's something that guys should not be doing. And that could be anything, not just ministry in the church. That's anything, places you should go, things you should do. God will speak to you through this word. Go ahead.
Well, you went back to the vision. And it's not that hard to write a vision. Whatever your vision is for this year. I know the worst question in the world when you go on a job interview. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? You know, a lot of us can't even deal with seeing tomorrow. Can't even deal with seeing next week. Just simple, dude. Sit down, look, honey. What is our goal in the next 90 days? Let's look. Next 90 days, honey, we need to save $250. We need to save $250 in the next 90 days. You know, a vision. We need to save $250 for the next 90 days. We're not going to go out to dinner. We're not going to take the kids to McDonald's. We're not going to do this. A vision. We've been married for 6 years. We ain't been on vacation. Next year, I want to go on vacation. Let's start saving now. Well, we can't afford to go on vacation. I'm going to say this, and I know I'm going to get a whole lot of backlash about this. I told you about building another man's vision. You can't go to the church, brick and mortar, and be giving all your money and putting into that man's vision. You've been going to church for 5 years, paying tithes and offering, and you and your wife can't afford to go nowhere, because keep paying your tithes and offering, you're going to be blessed. Oh, keep paying your tithes and offering, God's going to bless you with a vacation. It don't work that way. If you can pay tithes and offering, you can say, hey, look, honey, we ain't paying 10% for the next 6 months. Instead of paying 10% for the next 6 months, we're going to pay 5%. First of all, pay yourself 10%. Well, listen, hold it. I know I'm going to get some backlash about this. If you give any amount of money to a church, brick and mortar place, and you're not putting anything into a savings account, if you're not putting anything up under your mattress, slow down, young man, because build a home first. Always home first. Ministry starts at home. Make sure you got a savings at home. Make sure you got a savings at home instead of putting your money into all them brick and mortar places. Brick and mortar, not just church. If you're going to the casino, putting all your money into the casino. Whatever you're putting too much money into. If you're going out to eat dinner every night, if you ain't got a savings and you're going out to eat dinner every night, you need to slow down and write a vision. We need, by 2021, honey, we need to have $1,000 saved. Y'all say $1,000? Yeah, $1,000. $1,000. You'd be amazed that people ain't even got a savings account. If your car breaks down tomorrow, you trying to hustle up, you got to get a GoFundMe account to get your car fixed. Listen, young man, always home first. Let me stay focused.
Ministry starts at the home. Ministry starts at home. Also, one other thing, ministry starts at home, and have a life insurance policy.
Have a life insurance policy. We're going to wrap that up with the life insurance part, but we went to John, Gospel of John, verse 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then we jump down to 14, and the Word in the Message Bible, and the Word became flesh and moved into the neighborhood. You want to be a light in your neighborhood. You want to be a beacon in your neighborhood. You don't want to just go to work, church. You got to have some power in your neighborhood. Proverbs chapter 11. You want to read your version first, Vicky? Okay. Proverbs chapter 11, verse. We're going to read verse 11, then we're going to go to verse 10. Can you see?
Yes. Okay. By the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted.
By the blessing of the upright, your neighborhood is exalted. Now, my version, the Message Bible, I live and die by the Message Bible. When righteous living people, when good living people bless the neighborhood. When righteous living people bless the neighborhood, it flourishes. You should be a beacon in your neighborhood. You should be a light in your neighborhood. You should be an example in your neighborhood. Now, verse 10 says, let me put my glasses on maybe, huh?
Maybe there you go. But you know, when people drive down the street, they should be able to pick your house out.
When it goes well for good people, the whole neighborhood cheers. When it goes well for good people, the whole neighborhood cheers. Not just cheering on Sunday. We got to be a beacon in the neighborhood. We got to be an example on the street. We got to be an example in the store. We got to be an example everywhere. We just can't put on our Sunday mask and our Sunday face and grin and smile. Are you a beacon in the neighborhood?
Right.
Have you moved into the neighborhood? Listen, young man, always home first. As Lady Bell said, as we get ready to wrap this up, as Lady Bell said, we talked about, and we're going to be hitting on this all year, like we hit it on all last year, life insurance. Life insurance. Everybody was tripping about Kobe. Kobe's wife is going to be fine. They say Kobe's estate is worth over $1 billion. With a B. That's what it be. They say Kobe Bryant estate is worth over $1 billion with a B dollars. They say this intelligent man didn't have a will. I find that hard to believe. They said Prince, another intelligent man, didn't have a will. I find that hard to believe. Now these men have millions of dollars and they didn't have a will. I ain't got no millions of dollars. I got a will. I ain't got no millions of dollars, but I got a life insurance policy. Listen, young man, do you have a life insurance policy? Vanessa Bryant and those kids, they gonna be cool financially. I told you, Kobe Bryant left over $1 billion and is growing. Listen, young man, do you have a life insurance policy? Do you have a life insurance policy? You bought her flowers for Valentine's Day. I'm pretty sure they did. You bought some chocolate. I'm pretty sure you ate it all up. You went to dinner. I'm pretty sure you done pooted it out by now. But if something happened tomorrow, do your wife have a life insurance policy? Can you yell from the grave? Can your spirit yell from the grave? Baby, you good. I left you with a good life insurance policy. Team Bell, 1 + 1 will always be
1.
2 is bigger, but it's still
1.
1 1,000, but 2
10,000.
home first. Team Bell, we out.